Hey, what's up, guys? Symbolic Gamer here. I am gonna post this one too. This will be my second post. Yesterday really was quite the day. I sort of finally hit pay dirt. Sorry to pause so much in this. In the early part, I noticed I paused a lot early on yesterday. Let's roundabout. I can talk while I keep myself busy that way. We're always doing something. I wanted to take y'all to Jungle Secrets. That was one of the original deck names that Arena was born with. I find that these are different than I played them, than I remember playing them, But it was symbolic of your emotions affecting your reality. Blue to green. Emotions affecting your reality. And this was the aura. I mean, look at it. I wanted to connect it to the aura. If the law of attraction is something, and if our thoughts and feelings can affect our reality, can that be part of our aura? And then, of course, you go back to my childhood, back to 2000 and beyond, right? Roll the clock back to aura, this mythological thing that humans are supposed to have, right? The chakras go with it. And the truth is that since the birth of Arena, I have developed a way to not only get the aura, but the chakras and the infamous Kundalini, right? Which was just this really cool word, So this was where my symbolism of the law of attraction was represented in full. I had played a little bit stopped up today, and I apologize for that. I lifted my microphone up just a little bit because there was a little feedback. I don't know how there was feedback, but I heard Soren talking twice. But I still think it was pretty good. Those matches really were entertaining. My talk about Magic the Gathering was really cool. I think it's cool to kind of make this a channel for sort of an elite club, people who have been playing Magic a long time, maybe. I could do other channels. I want to do one. I want to call it Coffee Over Magic, because I always wake up. And I used to watch action cartoons. And now I play Magic and I drink coffee. I used to watch action cartoons and eat Lucky Charms before what I call my miracle mantra wake up workout. And now it's coffee and magic. But the counter spells, they were the ability to hold your focus, to hold your intention, your claiming. This is what I'm claiming, and I'm not going to stop claiming it. And the Flash stuff, the Flash was being able to act spontaneously upon intuition, to take inspired actions and follow the guidance of the universe as you're in this state of claiming in the name of Jesus Christ. And this guy, this was like the soul card. It's like the center, the keystone, if you will, right? To the deck, to the symbolism. This was a deep, strong desire. You have to understand. I don't feel like I'm talking properly. Not like I was yesterday. Maybe it was a little later on in the day. It was. Yeah, it was much later in the day when I recorded yesterday. I apologize for my stuffiness. But, I read Agents of Artifice, which was a book that came with an alternate art, Jace Bellerin, when I had first started playing. And in that book, Tezzeret pushed Jace, like way too far, just being a total douche. And Jace pulled, from deep within and pulled out this massive, awesome Sphinx to defend himself in this mage battle, right? And that was really profound for me. And I loved the description of Nicole Bolas they had in there. It's just a 25,000-year-old dragon the size of an ogre's barn. That was really cool. And I loved the end. I won't tell you the end, but it was totally awesome. I'm sure you can still find it. I loaned out my copy and have yet to get it back. But that was really awesome. And, I'm also a fan of Vampire Hunter D. And when his eyes turned blue, like his Son of Dracula blood was taken over, and he was, it's a half vampire, so he'd just go, postal, his eyes would go blue, and that's when he got tired of fooling around, right? But this is me wanting to do something about being, pushed beyond my limits, because my whole school life was a test. It was like a pressure cooker, man. And I never wanted the limitations placed upon me by the world, by my, class caliber, if you will, I guess. Because everybody I knew, they were tradesmen. They would make a living plumbing, being a mechanic, building houses, this, that, and the other. And I wanted something that I built myself. I wanted something that I truly cared about, something that I would do if I had any choice in the world. I wanted a better option. And when I found it at 19 years old, I was lit up like a Christmas tree, and I was walking on cloud nine every day for 5 years. And I worked, 2 jobs. I have worked 2 jobs like the past 20 years. I'd say 3/4 of the past 20 years I've worked 2 jobs. Just to try to get ahead. It wasn't enough for me to, settle for what life gave me. I wanted the freedom to choose, the freedom to make my own life. And the world was trying to teach me that from, before kindergarten, that, I wasn't going to get that. You had to do this to survive, and you had to do that to, keep a roof over your head. I always hated that. It was always, it was depressing. It was, I ran away from school like twice when I was a kid. But when I worked 5 years and then I didn't get paid, I didn't get set free, I didn't get to build that world. I was livid. I spent 4 years with a chip on my shoulder. I spent 4 years just like a tiger in a cage, man. I wanted revenge. I mean, that was it. I endured this limitation, and I see this profound way to freedom, and then I go for it, and I'm caught right before I get to the good part. And when that happens, man, it upped the ante, if you will. It's like Tezzeret pushing Jace too far. So this was the soul card. This is me. And this is my total determination, devotion to make my book series the best that it could be. That's what it had come to when I started playing. And I read some of the story. Jace goes to Ixalan, and this is the set right after Kaladesh. Kaladesh, me and my girlfriend were in New Orleans, and I went to play the tournaments like twice a week there and play draft. And I had just switched to draft from playing standard, like the whole time I'd been playing. I got bored with standard. Play some draft, get to enjoy some of the common cards, enjoy the storyline more. So when I play Magic, it's putting my life to the test. Am I going to be able to pull off making my life the best it can be? Alright. I was really happy. I was more happy than I thought I would be with my video. I like it. I'll just consider it, this sort of elite, small target of, people who've been playing Magic a long time. Alright, so the Night Pack Ambusher. I had been able to save money every summer to buy a house and get roommates to pay for it, while I paid as much as my roommates combined into the property to make it worth twice as much as I bought it for. Because the banks will cash you out. We're talking $50,000 refinance in your pocket after 2 years worth of remodeling and renovation, and just, making an awesome place to live. Build a better birdhouse, if you will. And I know how to do all that because I came up, sort of being a jack of all trades. And we ran the gambit, I've done a little bit of everything. And all my family and friends can do most everything too, so if I could get it started, I could help make everybody better off, get back to the good stuff, get back to camping and fishing and cookouts, and get some living in our life. Because I started working 2 jobs at 19. I was set up to retire my folks. I was set up to build the life I wanted, and I got to keep working my butt off, but I didn't get paid in the form of I can retire my folks, and I can do what I want for a living. I can take vacations. I can, have time off. I never got there. I just worked hard to get pulled back so that I'd have to work hard more. And it upped the ante. And that is why my message has grown way more powerful than it ever was before, than it ever was in my early 20s. So this was my guidance at the time. There's another author for Hay House. Doreen Virtue. And when I started all the advanced stuff after my life crashed and burned, she had stuff on crystals, and I've always worked with crystals. I've always loved crystals, right? There's nothing more wizard than crystals, right? I aspired to be a crystal therapist. It was how I motivated myself to start by going to massage therapy school, because then I could do all the healing modalities and just research all the alternative healing stuff. Become like a modern day wizard. And I got one of her books on crystals, and a few years later, I studied her angel stuff, and I started building rapport with my angels, which basically you just pretend they're real. Pretend you're talking to them, ask them for favors to help with your life and what you want to do with it, and see what happens. And when something happens, it helps. And if you do it 10 times, and then 20 times, and then 100 times, you've got rapport. You've got this straight up imaginary friend that can cause favors to happen in your life, help you understand things that challenge you. And we got to Ravnica. Ravnica, I think, was in Liliana. It was Liliana. I read a few books. Anyway, I did read about Ravnica too. Jace and Liliana, they hid out in Ravnica, or they traveled through Ravnica, or she went to find him in Ravnica or something. But we went to Ravnica, and I was drafted. I had money to play drafts at the time, and it was guiding me into passive income. I had read a book by Robert Kiyosaki. It was a 23-hour MP3 book in my girlfriend's car, which I was riding it, delivering it at the time, had an MP3 CD player so that I could go through the whole set. I think it was all on like one disc, maybe two. And I listened to it like 4 or 5 times straight in a row. And it was profound. It was like the Tony Robbins of my kind of investing, because Tony Robbins talks about, the stock market and stuff like that, but I've never been that patient. I've always wanted something more active. I want soil I can till with my own hands. And so real estate was perfect in the Night Pack Amateur and roommates. I mean, just look at it, right? I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to get roommates. Passive. They just, pay without me having to work. It's money that comes to me without me having to work. I'm working as much as I can. I've been working 70 hours a week for the past 5 years. Before that, I took a little break. I was in New Orleans. I worked at Pizza Hut in New Orleans. I had a blast, and it was so cool. It was like a 6-month vacation. Gonna tour the city, right? Delivering pizzas. It was awesome. We had a really good time. Got to check out the art scene because my girlfriend is an artist. And this deck, this was just where that mastery of claiming in the name of Jesus Christ, knowing that your thoughts and feelings and intentions will affect the physical reality. This is where it just reached its pinnacle. And when Return of the Wild speaker and Pack Ambusher, I actually did get to represent her art. With Joel Rail. You know, this just was very New Orleans. You know, and her art pieces, selling her art. This was very symbolic of letting me and her do our stuff together, you know, because I want to be an author at this point, right? I still want to retire into a martial arts school, retire into a metaphysical healing day spa. I would love to do that. You know, I'd do that for free if I had millions of dollars. I'd do it in between vacations. I'd teach other people to do it. I'd build different locations for other people to do it in because it's of interest to me. I mean, it's awesome, right? And her art. So this was where I got to let her, and the night pack was out. But Return of the Wild speaker was Ethan. And this is a soul card too. This is, you know, really a keystone card because, for one thing, I remember elves back when I first started playing. They had Overrun, which was sorcery speed, and nobody played this. I mean, this is a soul's majesty that they can't kill you out from under, and an instant speed overrun. I mean, why did nobody play this? Why did nobody play this? And, you know, I wish I still had it. I couldn't believe nobody played, because I played Soul's Majesty. That came in Alara. It was one of the Ajani arts. The art was so cool. And all the Ajani Avatar art, sorceries and instants. And Soul's Majesty was just too cool. It was expensive. It cost $5. It's a little expensive for me back in those days, but this one, man, I mean, how could you not? And of course, you got the Fairy Vandal. Got the Edgewald Innkeeper. I had to move him in. I did like the Edgewald Innkeeper. I was working with some friends of mine at the time. It was like they had set me up with this warm, safe, fully stocked, you know, place. I had to pick up a day job every year in the winter time in my seasonal town because the days were just too slow at my delivery job. So I picked up a landscaping job with them. They've got their own little business. You know, businesses are passive income. They can be passive income. And their business was the way they do landscaping. And we've all done landscaping throughout, you know, the past 20 years of my life. And actually, I was doing landscaping to pay my way into massage therapy school. And they have elevated it to an art form. They do so much more than just cut and go. I mean, it is the type of rapport that can, you know, pay off immensely. But, you know, anyway, that's a different story. But I worked with him, and this guy came into the deck at the time when I was working with him, and it all just sort of represented, this is me. This is what I wanted. the curse really is when I couldn't figure out what happened to me when I worked my butt off, knowing that the man upstairs worked, knowing that this is what I came to the planet for, and lost and couldn't figure it out, got a bad attitude. And hindsight taught me years ago now that by getting a bad attitude is what really did all the damage. It wasn't what caused me to lose my ability to build those businesses where I wanted, how I wanted, when I wanted. It was the setback giving me such a bad attitude that I sat down. I just quit my life. I felt like it wasn't even worth staying the path. And from being able to see that, I then learned something that takes the science of claiming in the name of Jesus Christ, the law of attraction, to a much greater depth, a much greater realisticness, if you will. Yeah, I can take, if the law of attraction is something that a lot of people dabbled with back in its day, they're very popular. Even Tony Robbins had tons of YouTube videos where everybody wanted him to explain this law of attraction, because Tony Robbins does great work. And everybody was testing it out, and it's not like the sales pitch in the movie The Secret. And I'd been studying spirituality for so long, by the time it came out, I already knew that it wasn't a face value thing. It wasn't like it is in the books, And it's only when you test it, you run the experiments, and you tweak it and 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 try again, try again, try again, back to the drawing board. That's when you start to mine the gold. And when it's all piled up together, that's when people can see it. Okay, well, this is worth it. But you have to keep going. And this is me, reclaiming the wholeness of my life. Me reclaiming the fact that it was worth it. This is my hindsight 2020. If I could go back, I'd dance a jig. I would totally dance a jig. If I could go back to that place that I thought was so horrible, knowing everything I know now, I would just fall back and sigh in relief on the ground. Oh my God. No way is this miracle. I would. I absolutely would, because everything that I want now, I had just handed to me then. I didn't have what I thought I wanted, what I knew I wanted. And my trust was broken and my faith was broken. But I had everything that I'm trying to get now as a step to get me back. I was just one step, and instead I jumped off the cliff. Instead of just stepping straight across, I committed suicide, basically. It was horrible. Sitting there for 4 years with a bad attitude cost me so much, but it cost me, and it paid the people who will come after me, the people who I will get to be a bridge for, the people who I will bridge that very same gap that I couldn't cross. I will take spirituality further. Just like all the books that I read when I was a kid, they helped me to build what I built. And I can help take modern spirituality further. And one of the ways that I do that is this, symbolic gaming. So now you probably understand symbolism a little bit better. And with my stuffy nose, I think that I will post this one. And I will just let this finish this introduction. And then let those sit. I had 2 views. I don't know whether I counted. I put a like on it myself, but my girlfriend actually helped me yesterday. It was the equinox, autumnal equinox. She said she was going to do a little, ceremony. And I got her to teach me, to guide me through, to post that video that I made yesterday. And also, I started a spiritual mastery program production. Day 1 was yesterday. I got to do 2 things. I got to do, I'm not even techno savvy enough to record it auditorially and save it and know that it's safe and it's not going to be corrupted. I actually had to write it out on paper as if I was saying it, so that one day I can put it on YouTube. But what I want to do is I want to post it on Tony Robbins Mastermind, and I want to claim in the name of Jesus Christ that Tony Robbins is going to pick it up and sponsor me as a spiritual as a my business. What do they call that? I want to help. I want to tell the world that magic is real and okay with God. And Tony Robbins to pick up my program and sponsor me in the plans that I have set up to make my book series the best that they can be. So I think this is good. It's an introduction to me, introduction to what I'm trying to do here. And it's just sort of a keepsake for me, of the time when I finally stepped up and I finally, took that next step of being able to make my book the best it could be. Because when Return of the Wild Speaker left, when the Night Pack Ambusher left, when the passive, income, the passive income symbolism left, so did my profit. And I entered into very hard challenges. I think this is the old one. No, wait, maybe not. Yeah, that's not the old one. Alright, these were the latest ones that I played. This was the first one I played when the set rotated. It was like last Halloween. But I've changed it. Yeah, I've changed it since then. But when the standards that rotated and all the passive income stuff left. I had Flash with Arlen, and I had this as sort of a keystone, because a storm hit my life, and a big storm hit our area, and I actually went back and put in my DVD of Ernest Goes to Camp, and at the beginning where they do that, the Indian Native American flashback, and I am part Indian. They've got the drums and hey, kind of music build up, and uh, they throw a knife and shoot a bow and throw an axe at this young Indian Native American on this sort of cross, if you will. And it was a test of becoming a man or something. It was being true of heart, right? It was like the main thing in Ernest Goes to Camp. It was like the moral of the story that plays out. Ernest gets shot at and he can't be hit by the dude with the gun. He sticks his finger in it and says paper, rock, scissors in the barrel of the gun. It's hilarious. But it was the tradition that this camp was based on. Ernest Goes to this camp. He's a janitor in this camp, and they let him work with these troublesome kids and stuff. But I literally I recorded that music. It was just like 30 seconds worth of music, and I would play it over and over as I rode my bike as this, test, because I knew that life was getting hard. And I knew that I had to keep a good attitude this time. I'd lost my ability to save any summer money, and it was a big deal. I mean, it was like, hold on for your life. Life got really hard, really fast. Right after the storm hit, everything was flooded. There was destruction all around and stuff, but I knew that my challenge was to keep a good attitude. And the standards that rotated, the passive income was no longer available, right, in symbolism. And so I went with the wolves. This is kind of passive. It's a 3-for-1. You get two wolves. You get to flash stuff in. So it's like this is all I have, left of my guidance to, build this passive income investment and hold on to it. And I've been, projecting my dissatisfaction with my life circumstances onto the standard rotation ever since, because I did get to play wonderful Magic with it, but nobody else was playing it. It wasn't a popular deck. Werewolves were there, but they were stronger in mono green, and nobody played the way I played, and it was a constant struggle. But I made it to Mythic, time after time after time. But I was projecting, my life of hardship. My life was hard the whole time. I've Rox Tovalar, and then now it's rotated again, and I've got 3 versions here. They all work okay, but I was really searching when the standard rotation started anew. I was really searching all this stuff I built. God, what did I build? I built this one, 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 this one. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I built all of these since it rotated, like 3 weeks ago. Trying to get a grasp on the format, trying to handle, this change it, and I struggled because this summer is my second summer, and I picked up a job. I picked up doing Instacart. And I did that last year when I didn't make any summer profit with my regular job. And I worked 14-hour days for 6 months straight. Now, granted, my 10-hour day job is totally gravy train. I work from my phone. I hang out at my house. And I get paid well enough to do it, but not well enough to save any money, not well enough to advance my life in any way. And I've got a love relationship that I've had this whole time that's new to me. Makes life difficult. Uh, well, now my train's come off the track. Oh, yeah. So, life got difficult, and we need to top deck a land. And I took on this 30-day challenge to get a mail route job. And I lost it. I didn't get the job. And then I checked into truck driving, and I felt good the whole 30 days. I came up with this wonderful workout routine, wonderful eating routine, and I started to make progress on that. But the money, it has been like a throbbing toe. Like you stub your toe or you drop something on it. And money has been an issue that's been like a throbbing toe for 2 years straight. And that's not good. Money has been like a throbbing big toe for 2 years straight at this point. And I got really frustrated, right? So I've got the standard format, and every time I think I've got a good design, the next day I'll get totally obliterated, non-stop, like back to back to back to back to back. And it just raised my frustration. I couldn't get these jobs to work out. I couldn't get an edge on how to make enough money. Instacart and Shipt, which worked last year and was supposed to make me able to save money this year, got worse in the summer when my seasonal town is summer rich. And it got so much worse that I couldn't even do it. It wasn't even worth running my vehicle. I mean, basically, it just got so bad that I lost the ability to do it at all. So there was no extra income all summer long. And I'm trying to find a way to solve that. I need this. And all that pressure created this program. You know, I finally found peace. And just yesterday, you know, I started this production, and it feels like destiny. You know, it feels like it's meant to be. Come on, island. Oh man. Great. I know what they do with that thing. I have played this one before. Great. Come on. That's it. I quit. Alright, I think I might actually rewind this to 30 minutes.